around Hasselön Race 2023. Last weekend in July, as usual. Here you can see Hasselön, and the track is counterclockwise against the wind. Start with the upwind, then a long downwind, and then a difficult upwind again. The island is pretty high, and it's a lot of places where the wind drops, and also on the north side is very shallow. This year I had a guest crew of 4 children and 1 grown-up that helped me around the island. The competing boats this year was here, Henrik in his Trissjolle. It was the heavy Triss this year. Björn in a smaller version, Lil Triss. It was Lisa in her Optimist dinghy, Falsled. Another Opti was Anna and the dog Morris sailing. And last but absolutely not least, the Beason 31 with Elias. Here we are, about a minute from start. That was 1300 hours. Meeting Björn and also Henrik. They're heading for the port. Our plan was to come in from starboard to the starting line. As you can see here, we take it a bit easy to not make any mess with the smaller boats in the fleet. One of the Opti and also Björn is doing one of the best starts coming from port. We are a bit behind here, passing Anna in her Opti, and Henrik in the Trissjolle also sneaking before us, before we tacking to port as well. Ten minutes before the start it was nearly no wind at all, but here it has picked up, increased to about 7 knots, and we getting pretty good speed. We have 2 childs on each side to balance the boat a bit. It was not more wind than that, but here you can see it's going pretty slick. We were meeting my parents in their Comfortina 32 here. They were heading for the start as well, but they came a bit late, 10 minutes faster, and they could have joined us as well. We managed to avoid the shallow water, and after that difficulty we could furl out the Corsair and go a bit downwind. During the downwind, 2 of the guys learning to steer the boat a bit. But then it was time for a jibe with the Corsair. Pelle also brought his squishmallows to give us some luck in the race. We are jibing and start heading back closer to shore. It was also some kayaks that were paddling around the island, and the big question was if we were going to beat them as well. They could paddle very close to the island and get a lot shorter way, so it looked a bit difficult to catch up with them. As we were turning around the east side of the island, the wind obviously turns against us. We furl in the code and furl out the small vacation jib. It's a self-tacking jib. I have this year during our vacation time. Yeah, the kayak seem impossible to beat in this light condition, but we continue the race. Some more short tacks just before the finishing line, and then we are finishing in about 43 minutes. No new record this year, but a pretty great ride. The next boat after us heading for finish line is Henrik with his light blue sails in the Trissjolle. He also had to tack a lot in those difficult conditions around the leeward side of the island, and also some shallow water on both sides. Not far behind is Björn in his Triss, the smaller version of the Trissjolle, and he ends up on first place in this race. Congratulations to Björn, very well sailed. Third, it's the Beason 31 with Elias. He got in some very light wind. The wind dies off a bit after our finish. About an hour later, the first Opti with Lisa and in her Falsled shows up and heading for the finish line. Anna is not that far behind either, with the small dog Morris, and doing a great sail as well. Here you can see the finish line that Lisa is passing between the starboard mark and the port next to the island. Well done. A special thanks to Hasselön Sailing Society and this always fantastic race. Hope I see you next year.